cost of $140 for design, engineering, and construction inspection services related to the proposed 2019 and 2021 alley projects.
And we do have a second. I still have, and Trustee McKay made a great point of, I mean, we're doing more alley work this year, and we're approving this to move forward in our July bonding cycle, is that correct? Is this?
Well, once the board approves the specific project scope and funding level, it'll move forward to be authorized for bonding.
But we're authorizing the contract, so we're kind of authorizing
Just for engineering.
just for engineering. And so if we engineer for the, whatever's being proposed, and we make a decision in a month,
At whatever point the construction contract gets let, the appropriate amount of engineering hours related to that will be added to that for bonding during construction. In a time where there might be some latitude for the desire of the board as to what scope of that project would be, we'd kind of call that work in progress and wait for the construction to ultimately materialize before we would request reimbursement for the engineering work for bonding.
is this for 2019?
For however long it would take for the board to implement the engineering contract that's being proposed.
You're asking us to vote on bonding next week. Okay. So my question is, for 2 weeks from now, is
Well,
this,
we're talking about approving a project scope, and then several weeks later, we're talking about, well, I mean, maybe 3 weeks later, is bonding.
The construction in the alley, the 2019 construction, or just we're bonding for 2019 construction?
The program funding level for 2019 will be coming for the board's review on the 25th. And then, depending on what the board decides then, the amount of applicable engineering costs that are associated with that funding level will be implemented and requested to be bonded for. Any additional engineering costs that aren't implemented in the 2019 program will be held in what I would call a work in progress, construction in progress account. And we will not request bonding reimbursement for that until that program's implemented.
so there's no value in waiting? I really truly am trying to figure it out. Like, so just because it's so close together, is there no value in waiting to approve and sign a contract for engineering until I mean, we're only a week away, until we defer it and then say how much we want to do when we decide the amount we're gonna bond for? So that we're not approving a contract to engineer for, 9 alleys. And then a week later saying, well, based on these other bonding projects, we only want to do 4. Is there value in that? You know, waiting to sign the contract? If there's not, let me know.
How's your scope defined?
The scope is defined based on the alley program that was proposed to the board in late 2016. So,
2017, long range plan?
no, well, yeah, and then with last year's long-range plan. So it is the alley program that was included in last year's long-range.
Make a motion to call the question.
Sure.
Which someone has to second.
I just want to
Second.
second it, and then don't we need to vote on calling the question? All those in favor of calling the question, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Nay. So,
Did you vote, Jessica?
okay, 5-2, motion passes. So now we will call the question on approval of the contract, or of the motion, I'm sorry. Do you want to reread the motion?
Oh, that was just about calling the question. Aye. The motion, trustee Maher moved, seconded by trustee Bachhorst, to the approval of professional service agreement with the Sigma Group in the amount amount of $164,440 for design, engineering, and construction inspection services related to the proposed 2019 and 2021 alley projects.
2021. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay.
Nay.
Motion passes 5-2. The next item for consideration is an update on Wilson Drive project monthly financial report.
Rebecca, included in your packet was an update for your review. So we'll entertain any questions at this time. However, would you like to update on the closure of Wilson Drive tonight? Late breaking.
Sure. Due to some locally heavy and intense rainfall, we did have to close Wilson Drive for a brief period this afternoon due to a little more water than we would like to see standing on the roadway.
In the part that's dug out or the?
No, actually in the traffic lane.
Oh,
Does anybody have any discussion or questions on the Wilson Drive financial report? Seeing none, is there action for this?
No.
Okay.
thank you for preparing.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next item for consideration is the 2018 trick-or-treat date and time. I will turn it over to trustee Bockhurst.
Oh, I get to introduce it? Okay, thank you. All right, so every year we discuss which day the Village of Shorewood is going to use as its official trick-or-treat day. And we do this early in the spring, or late in the spring, actually, early in the summer, in order for the school district to publish their calendar in a timely manner because they include the date of trick-or-treating in the said calendar. So I'm just going to go through some of the highlights of the memo presented by staff, unless, is Diane here? Would you prefer to do this, or would you like me to? All right. All right.
What page is that?
This is on page, well, I searched for it, so it's
361.
361. Okay, so the memo, as stated, says each year the village board establishes the date and time to hold trick or treat in the village, typically in conjunction with the ICC resolution that's attached. The resolution was, and this is the 2010 version that's attached? Okay.
Yes, it was 2010 for 10 years.
Okay, and the resolution was approved by members of the Intergovernmental Cooperation Council, which is basically a representative, usually the mayor or board president from each municipality of the 19 municipalities that are in Milwaukee County. Okay, so every year the ICC approves or not every year, it's every 10 years they do this?
This is a 10-year.
Okay, so this was in 2010, and gives the recommendations for what Halloween trick-or-treating should be for that decade for all 19 municipalities. I'm going to go off of this and then I will circle back slightly. Forgive me, I actually left my notes in the car, so I'm a little remiss, but I think I know this well enough by now. In addition to established trick-or-treating in the village, there have been some Halloween activities for families in the village. Number one, I guess the Shorewood Recreation Department typically holds a Halloween party the same day that we conduct trick-or-treating. Last year, that was on Sunday, the 27th of October. The party was 11:30 to 1. Shorewood trick-or-treating hours approved were 1 to 4. Now, that doesn't mean that other areas within Shorewood did not conduct trick-or-treating on different times and dates, which did happen in many areas of the village. And then this memo does say, however, it is my understanding that this event will no longer take place. So I can't confirm or deny that, but regardless.
It's part of the Ghost Train event now.
Okay,
So
so
it'll
this
be
goes to
on
the second
October
one?
31st to the last point, yeah.
Okay, so the annual Ghost Train celebration is scheduled for the evening of Wednesday, October 31st, time to be determined. Given that the Ghost Train generally goes when it's dark out, I would be shocked if that were earlier, but it could, festivities could begin at any time, I have no idea. It doesn't state here in the memo. And then it says, new this year, the Shorewood Business Improvement District will hold trick-or-treating at participating businesses in the business district on Saturday, October 27th. While they have not yet settled on a time, they're generally thinking around 4:30 to 5 p.m. start with an end time around 7. And just for everyone's education, sunset is 5:45 p.m. this year, and generally every year on Halloween or thereabouts. There's a disclaimer from the bid director, Erica Legg, saying that it's not the bid's intention to compete with the village's trick-or-treat. They're merely providing another opportunity to engage the community. So the vision plan, anyway, there's items listed here, and there is no formal recommendation from the village staff as far as which day that we would approve as the official Shorewood trick-or-treating date. With that in mind, there are a few items I'd like to mention, and I would like to do this before I make a motion. One is that although the ICC, of which we are a member, and President Rozek sits on that commission, although the 19 municipalities within that organization voted in, I don't know what the vote was final, but whatever, the resolution passed. Of those 19 municipalities in the county of Milwaukee, since that passing in 2010, only 9 of the 19 actually conduct the Halloween trick-or-treating during the suggested hours of 1 to 4 p.m. of Sunday prior to Halloween. One municipality does it on Halloween proper from 5 to 7 or so about. 2 on the Saturday prior and 8 on the Sunday evening. So the majority do conduct trick-or-treating on the Sunday prior, but it's almost split 9 in the morning and 8 in the evening. And this is actually, if you were doing the math, adds up to 20 because Bayview, although it's a neighborhood in Milwaukee and not its own municipality, has its famous, Bayview nighttime trick-or-treating that I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but anyway. So interestingly, Milwaukee County being the largest county, more than half, we're in the minority here as far as when we conduct trick-or-treating by the 1 to 4 p.m. on the Sundays. And I'm only bringing this up, for a variety of reasons, but it's a discussion that Halloween trick-or-treating means a variety of things to a variety of different people, but I've heard over many years and also experienced as when I was a new resident here, just being a little surprised that we would not have trick-or-treating in the evening or even in the evening of Halloween, in which it was celebrated in, just again, this is anecdotally, but when I lived in Seattle, Madison, DC, it's not necessarily, this is very important concept to me, to have a daytime trick-or-treating for what I consider kind of like a take back the night spiritual ritual, but anyway, that's my own bias. So the 5 largest counties in the state of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Dane, Waukesha, Brown, and Racine, we are in the super minority, or whatever it's called, being celebrating or having official trick-or-treating during the daytime hours. Almost all of the municipalities within Milwaukee County conducted an evening, whether it's Halloween proper or on another, even mainly Halloween proper. Waukesha, I don't have the statistics on the entire county, but Waukesha is 5 to something on Halloween. Brown County is also almost all Halloween evening, 4 to 7.
Guys, Trustee Matthew.
And then Racine County as well. Again, this is across the board, but the majority of the municipalities within Racine County celebrate this event in the evening hours of either Halloween proper or the weekend prior. So I also just blending into the discussion that we're going to have after we have our regular scheduled board meeting this evening, which is the Vision 2025 implementation plan, and kind of tying why I believe that looking at an alternate time for trick-or-treating isn't a bad idea for a municipality. We have a variety of visioning statements that are on Vision 2025, and again, we will be spending many hours this evening, as we have other nights and will in the future in this month, discussing our own kind of, let's say, pet projects, or even suggestions as far as what we want staff to do over the years, or in the next year or so. So tying into the Vision 2025, and I think we've made a lot of headway in a lot of these vision statements. But one of the things that we have stressed, and this even goes back to the Vision 2015 and before, that Shorewood, we want us to be a vibrant urban community with a safe, friendly neighborhoods offering desirable housing options, et cetera, for a variety. I'm not going to read them all, but let's see, strong sense of safety, community, kind of, et cetera. So in the past in Shorewood, and I don't believe we do this anymore, we used to have a Take Back the Night event, which was hosted by the Shorewood Police Department. And this is a very common event, nationwide. And part of it was, let's meet our neighbors on the street in the evening. Let's not be afraid we don't have to lock ourselves behind those doors. So there are a variety of reasons why